If you've ever told your mom, I love you on Mother's Day, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Happy Monday. Welcome back. We are back for more live trading. We've got the market back. We've got some money to make. Let's go ahead and get it done.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. The question that is on deck for today, I already know what it is. Are we entering back to the meme market? Let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's bring on my main man, 13, to discuss that here this morning. 13, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a wonderful Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that are trading with us this morning. And the caffeine has hit me particularly hard this morning. So if I talk too fast, just let me know.
That is a really good thing to hear. I'm glad to hear the caffeine is hitting me hard as well. I'm 2 cups deep. Let's get it rolling. I agree. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. It doesn't matter if you're a mother of children or a mother of animals. Happy Mother's Day to you. I hope that you had a great, relaxing morning. And we thank all of you for joining us here again on Monday. Okay, 13, we're going to start with the SPY, but then you know exactly what we're going to go into. Okay. Richard, Ryan, disclosed your awesome charting on the pre-market show. Thank you for the wonderful looking charts. Not sure what you're referring to, but you're welcome. I would love to hear some more context on that. Anyway, let's get back to the SPY here. We do look like we're pushing the all-time highs here. That's at 524 and change. We're currently at 522 and change in the pre-market here. We've traded up from the close yesterday. So the question for me is, are we going to break above those highs and close above those highs to there and maybe kind of change the trend that we're on? Or do we make a double top here, maybe revert back to the mean? Or meme, listen to me. I can't, this is bad. Okay. Are we going to revert back to the mean? Or maybe do we trade sideways before we decide which way we go? Lot to figure out here this week. And today is day one of that. So here we go with the SPY. Let's see what happens. Do you have anything on the SPY before we break into the meme stuff?
Hey, look, we're almost at the all-time high again. So why not? Why don't we just go ahead and get there? We're only like $2 away. Let's go for it.
So you want to test it and break it, or
sure,
do you want to have a rejection there?
Let's reject. Let's get a double top in here, guys. What do you think? I still want to see this market come in 10%. It'll probably even come in more at this point, since we've just absolutely rallied off of the reversal from 494.50. But if we continue to go up, then it just makes me more and more nervous that the subsequent decline is going to be even more troublesome than we would if we just double topped here. So I'd like to see a double top. I'd like to see us come back down, get a good correction in, and then we can have this market can do whatever it wants. I prefer to rally after that, to be honest, but I want to see it double top. I want to see the correction. I want to see it really take off afterwards. That's what I'd like to see.
Okay. STFU saying SPY is a meme index. Also says 13 is on team correction. I'll just go out. I'll just say this. I too am on team correction, by the way. One of the things that I would like to see is a lot of this stuff come in and make more sense with its earnings multiple, and then be able to buy it at a discount. I'm on that team too, but I'm not going to fight it. I mean, I've been chopped up fighting it, so I'm not going to continue to fight it. DJAF says SPY calls until they don't work. That has been the play, right? That has been the play. Every time it looks like we're going to roll over, especially if we're at any kind of support level, things seems to bounce. I mean, if you just look 4 days ago, it looks like we kind of rolled back towards the 50, didn't quite touch it, and then went to highs. So SPY calls until they don't work seems to make a lot of sense, or at least it seems to be working. Okay, let's keep moving on. Justin, this is going to sound really weird, so prepare yourself. When I woke up and took a look at the pre-market, I thought about you this morning. And I was like, oh no, GME is going crazy. We're going to have to talk about it today. So guess what? You get your wish. It is not Voldemort in this show, but it is going to come with a series of warnings based on what we saw the last time this stock went crazy. And it's not just this stock that's going crazy. Now, first things first, credit where credit is due. You were talking and trading about this last week. We had a huge candle. We're actually up 44%. We're actually up 44% here. Oh, that's a baby outside. I heard some really crazy sound, and I was like, I hope my animals are okay, but it's a baby in the hallway. Excuse me. GME, this has already been a winner. So credit where credit is due. If you're still holding this, if you were swinging this over the weekend, if you were holding this into this session, you're up huge. The only thing I want to say about this, your trade is your trade. Your risk is your risk. Book these gains on the way up. We've seen this be very volatile. Now, that being said, this is absolutely in play today. So what's the catalyst here? GameStop shares are trading higher amid possible retail investor interest following a social media post by Roaring Kitty. Here we go on GME. Actually, as we're talking here, it looks like it's challenging those pre-market highs. We are right there. Let's see if we pop above.
This is the level I was telling you about before the show. We were tested it twice already. 25.50 came up to that twice in the pre-market. This is the third attempt. It's either going to break out here, and if it doesn't, there'll be a triple top. We could start to trade down.
Okay, so this already here is going to be one of the spots to watch. Now, I am preparing to trade this here today, so we'll see how I do with this one here today. That is a perfect time to remind you that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above the 25K threshold so that you can day trade some of these meme movers instead of holding them overnight, check out Trade the Pool. This is probably a pretty good time for it. You just need more buying power to play around with some of these risky assets. They can help you with that as well. We are going to switch over to the Trade the Pool broker here when we open. This one is on deck. I'm looking for a breakout or a breakdown, the same setup that we look for on a regular basis here. So, okay, 13. Now we're going to get to the hard part of the discussion. First of all, do you pay attention to anything that Roaring Kitty says? I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I literally don't follow him and don't follow the things that he tweets about.
So one thing to add to this whole meme stomp thing, now that it's able to be traded, Reddit, that is spiking right now. So if we're going to see these GME, AMC, and BlackBerry names start to move because they're meme stonks, look for Reddit to move as well. I think they're going to be it's going to be part of the family.
Okay, that's actually a really good call. We took a look at AMC and GME here this morning. Reddit absolutely is responding to this, albeit on low volume. So we'll see here on Reddit 13. That's a really good call. Really good call here. Okay, if any of you folks, looking at you, Justin, if any of you folks really kind of follow the saga on the Reddit boards and Roaring Kitty and all of that, happy to hear what your thoughts are. Again, that's not something that I dive into very much at all. So GME definitely on deck here for today. Let's see what it brings. Okay, real quickly, one more thing that I wanted to mention. Robert, I'm glad that you brought this up. Does Ryan use Thinkorswim? I'm not done bitching about Schwab yet. Yes, he does. So again, Ryan uses two brokers. He uses the Trade the Pool broker. It's where most of the trading during the show happens. Occasionally, I'll mention if I take a trade in my regular account. The last one, I believe, was an add to PWP Swing. That was in the regular account, not in the prep account. Thinkorswim, the merger with Schwab, I guess, took place today. Thinking about it, props to you. You said we couldn't log in till today. That was correct. I tried to log in yesterday and could not. But I'm happy to say, at least on my end, I haven't executed any trades yet, haven't done anything yet, other than bring up my broker. Everything appears to be the same. I didn't lose any workspaces or indicators or chart settings or any of that stuff. So I am optimistic thus far about this switch. Robert, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through some trouble. I would call them. Call them or open up a support ticket. I'm willing to bet they're going to be busy. Okay. Took 8 times to log in. My toss is working fine. So is mine. I managed to clean up my toss. Okay. I'm logged in. Everything seems good. Okay. So it seems like we've got some pretty good reports. I was really nervous about that, especially yesterday when I couldn't prepare for it, but looks like that's nothing to worry about here. Okay. Let's go over to the movers. I know we're running out of time. And then we also have to talk about Nvidia here. I think they did this on pre-market prep. So for those of you that came over from pre-market prep, you're probably already prepared for this a little bit. We did get a newsprint here this morning that Chinese regulators tell local tech firms to buy fewer Nvidia chips. That caused Nvidia to sink. We will absolutely be taking a look at that and then discussing that here as a group during the show here today. So be prepared for that. But I'm not going to start with that here because this has long reaching and I really want to see what the opening print is like. We're already kind of, that dip already kind of got bought back. DJF, you doing Nvidia calls until they don't work too? Because that Seems like that seems to be working here. Okay, let's talk about some of the other names here. TVGN is going to be the first one on the movers tool. This is Tevagen Bio Holdings, and the catalyst here is Tevagen Bio shares are trading higher after the company announced that it entered into a binding term sheet with an existing investor to secure up $50 million in financing. So that caused the stock to pop here. We actually popped above 180, made a move towards 2, couldn't quite get there. We've pulled back here till about the 140 level, which is below the VWAP, but we really haven't broke down on any selling volume. So with that not happening yet, I'm optimistic that maybe we get a play here when the regular session opens. 13, you have anything here on TVGN?
Other than the securing up to 50 million in financing, they do have a 25.5 million share float. Not the smallest float that we're looking for, but it's not really too big either. So shouldn't have too much of a difficulty trying to move this thing around today. It just don't expect really, really violent moves like we see some of the other ones have. As far as the level here, I would say that the first one to the downside that I'd be interested in is going to be at about somewhere between 130 and 135. I'm going to look for that area to give support. And if it does, then I might be interested in doing some trades there.
Okay. Cool. On TVGN. Now, we already talked about GameStop. I suspect we're going to be looking at that a lot, so I'm just going to skip that for the time being here. Next one here is going to be ticker ACIU. This is AC Immune shares are trading higher after the company reported Q1 financial results. Also, the company announced it signed an exclusive option and license agreement with Takeda for active immunotherapy targeting amyloid beta for Alzheimer's disease. Can't believe I got through that one okay, but I did. This thing popped above 4. It's really kind of bled back down here. Volume is good, and we've had multiple spikes in the volume where people have come in. So far, it seems to be consolidating here right around 330. VWAP at 357, so might get a trade right out of there towards the gate. Maybe we break. This one with Alzheimer's, I want to say here that this one has the potential to kind of go crazy here today. Float is 52 million, so it's not one of the low floaters. We'd really need this to have pretty substantial volume in order for this to really get going here. But with Alzheimer's disease, a really nice gap that we've put in here. We get any type of good technical move. ACIU might be one of the plays here today. You got anything on this one, 13?
In addition to their earnings report, the exclusive option and licensing agreement with Takeda is I think, a pretty big deal. Takeda is a huge company. Their ticker is TAK. This is a big pharmaceutical company that does a lot of, I don't even know what the name of the particular drugs are called, but you'll see it in Adderall, Vyvanse. You have Alzheimer's, lots of different behavioral medications that they do, in addition to many others. So Takeda is a very big company. I think that's great news for ACIU. They do have 52 and almost 53 million shares in the float, so it's not going to move around like some of these other low float ones are. But we should still see some pretty decent price action. I just don't know how much of it we're going to see. We might get we might go higher than 431 like we put in the already, but I really don't know how much more we'll get out of this. It just depends on how many people want to end up trading it or buying it. It's really, I don't have levels for this one either, but I do think that news is pretty good. So we'll have to see. I'll find some levels for this one and get back to you. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, first level I'm looking at here, 322, 320 to the downside. That's about the only level that I've got at the moment.
Yeah, 315 seems good for me to start. Yeah.
Okay, so those are right about there in the same area. Okay, yeah. Really good stuff. One thing I wanted to welcome back, and thanks Bex for shouting this out because I actually missed this. Jan, welcome back. Hey, everybody, long time. How's everyone doing? We're doing great, and we're doing better now that you're here and you're back. Hopefully you are doing well, Jan. Are you ready to join the GME craze here today? That looks like what's going on. Jay Thistle from our Twitter audience, GME all day. They're already ready for it, folks. Hopefully.
Look at that profile picture. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It sure is. It sure is. So really happy stuff here this morning. Really good stuff. And Becca, good morning. Voodoo saying all my stuff transferred. I just had to do some checklists. Yeah, me too. So fingers crossed. There was another report there. Spiro Bill saying I lost my price levels. There was another one about not being able to execute trades. Jay Summers, account not eligible to place trades pending enablement. Okay, I haven't tried to do that yet, so I'll let you know if that happens to me. Okay, next one here is going to be CCLD. This was a pop and drop. Maybe we get a curl back to the VWAP. CareCloud shares trading higher after the company announced it would retain an investment bank to examine and evaluate the terms of a Series A preferred stock and to make recommendations to the board that may be beneficial to the company and its shareholders. So seems like kind of a bunch of jargon there. This initial pop that was on volume was just met with selling. We almost round tripped the entire move. To me, it seems like this would be something that'd be a potential, just a tactical mover. I wouldn't get too excited about this, but we'll see. We've seen some of these move here before.
It's trading on the management of the company. That's really all it's trading on. The company's basically saying, hey, we've retained this investment bank, or capital structure has to be A, B, and C. We're trying to do these things. That's all it's trading on. It doesn't sound like there was any kind of anything that they're going to gain from this. No sales. There might be some cost savings in there somewhere, and that's another thing they could be trading on. But to me, it's really just all about the management trying to take steps to make this company create more value for its shareholders. Other than that, 10.16 million shares in the float, much easier to move around than those other ones we were talking about before. None of these have reverse splits, by the way. I'm just checking on that too.
Okay, so that catalyst is absent in some of these players here this morning. Okay, real quickly here, cost. This was one that ran during the meme craze last time. It is trading up here. It's looking like it's trying to take out its pre-market high. It doesn't have the strength of some of these other ones that we've taken a look at, but keep this on your list for meme names in case we get a move across that entire sector. AMC is one of these names that seems to be reacting. Now,
real quick on cost. Yeah. It's not shorted heavily either, which is one of the reasons why it was also helping get pushed around. So there's almost no short interest in this. This might not get the reaction that it had last time in 2021 when it was really moving. Just to point that out there.
Yeah, no, really good stuff here, and I was able to actually get my historical short interest stuff here too, which is great. And if we go down to when that took place, 13, you're absolutely right. We were in the double digits. We're a fraction of that, like exponentially lower than that. Really good shout there. Okay, AMC here. This one is moving here. Look, formations like this, not buyable for me at all. Even if I want to do something risky, you just have to wait for a pullback. We're becoming even more extended away from the VWAP here on AMC. I actually think GME might be the better opportunity here today. I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth. But I honestly, if it comes down to these two, I think GME might be the better trader. You got anything on AMC here?
Well, I can tell you right now that we're trying to make it, the price is trying to make its way through the 50-day SMA, and there's a resistance level that it's coming up to at about 360. So keep that in mind. There could be some pullback here in short order in the next 7 to 5 cents. So just kind of keep that level on your radar. 360 could see some resistance.
Okay.
There is a gap fill too, by the way, above that, between $4 to about, it's not very big, about 408 to what, $4 to 8 cents.
Yeah, you're right. I see it in there, but you're right. That's not terribly big. Okay. STFU with a good warning here. We are under a minute until the casino opens here today. I'm going to flip over to the main workspace and get this all ready to go. And let's see. And actually, what is the short interest on GME? So 25.8% of its float shorted, 4.7 days to cover on that short interest on GME. So that's still looking pretty high. I'd like to see that days to cover a little bit higher. But for today's session, we should be all right.
And AMC has 18.4 with also low days to cover.
Okay.
The short interest matters. It's helping squeeze. It's helping squeeze for sure. All right. We're about to open. 15 seconds.
All right,
day, folks.
Yeah, let's see what we got. I also have cost on the scanner, AMC on the scanner. So it looks like so far in the Benzinga Pro scanner, just the meme names. We will flip over to trade the pool when this thing actually opens. Here we go. Here we go.
TBGN. Wow, I don't know if that was a real move or not, but it kind of knifed right out of the open. I mean, it was way lower. I don't know if that was just a glitch or not, but
let's take a look here. Looks like that's moving lower here. Okay, let the chaos begin. I love the energy in the chat here this morning. You folks are really bringing it. Folks are really bringing it. AMC knife getting called right out of the gate here. That actually doesn't shock me a whole lot. You know, although it would be interesting to see if this gives a bounce trade at the VWAP. Again, I'm not terribly interested in AMC, but we will watch that here.
ACIU coming down to the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. That is it's coming down to that area I think I was talking about. Where no, that was a different stock. But anyway, 315 is close to where that 65 EMA is. Might get a bounce there.
A firm curling here.
TVGN sideways. CCLD that's pushing up. There's a big old sell order at 164 that it's trying to push through right now. It needs more volume though.
GME trading back to this upper boundary here. DJAF looking like you're closing something for 225%. Nice. You get our first cash register ring of the week. Big move there. GME, I'm interested to see if this holds here. Let me check CCLD. This is a Crow mention here. Looks like you're watching this one. CCLD.
Zeekr, the Chinese car company that IPO'd last week. That's got a big move up over 30. Going to 3140 right now.
I'm trying some CCLD here.
That's ticker ZK that I was just talking about.
Yeah, I'll flip over to that here. Sorry, okay. 13.
No worries. CXAI had a pop out of the gate.
If they're going to hit this bid and move it lower, that'll probably be it for me. They're hitting it.
Oh, wow. Right to higher, though.
Okay, I'm going to take that one off a little bit there on CCLD. Sorry. Which one are you watching here?
Oh, I was just cycling through some of the other ones. Zeekr. That's the Chinese car company that IPO'd last week. That had a big pop all the way up to 3143, and now it's coming back in.
Yeah, pull right back to VWAP there. Wave D getting called in the chat. Does not have the volume there on Wave D. Wisdom.
Is Lion Atlas out there? Where's Lion Atlas?
He is. I saw his name earlier.
How about FMC, buddy? How about FMC?
Is that moving here? I'll take FMC. Is. I'll take FMC gains as well, folks. I gotta thank you guys for getting me in that one.
Hey, no problem. I'm still. This is both a trade and a long hold for me.
LIDR did pop out of the gate here. GME, this is pulling back to the VWAP now. We'll see if GME, I'm going to kind of let this selling pressure exhaust, and then we'll see if that sets up. CCG, this one popped and dropped. It's consolidating here. Let's see if CCLD kept moving. It sure did. So CCLD right back to the VWAP here.
ACIU, that's another one of those morning movers. That one went up to VWAP. It's starting to reverse. Maybe this is kind of going a little bit of a different direction than I was expecting it to do here. Look for it to consolidate a little bit more and try to take out VWAP.
NVAX is going, by the way. NVAX nice. Took out its pre-market high and continues to move on volume on NVAX. I'm going to actually put GME in a different window here so I can kind of keep an eye on it when I'm not watching it. GME, by the way, does look like it's bouncing off the VWAP now on GME. Zoltan, good morning, Zoltan. How are you doing? Hood turned off the buy button. Oh, you're seeing that on Twitter. So that's an unconfirmed report. Okay, well, that's interesting.
On GME?
I think that's what he means. Zoltan, can you confirm that? Was that on GME? SOUN being mentioned by Becca? This rolling off the open here? Good call.
Didn't we just talk about that last week about how...
yes, we did.
Yeah, so this should come as no surprise to anybody that has Hood and is trying to trade GME.
CCLD, that move looks like it's slowing down here at the VWAP. If you're still in that, definitely trim this. I was trimmed it a little early, but that's okay.
All right, might get my wish in ACIU now. It's still trying to push through VWAP. There's a big old sell order, a couple of sell orders around the 350 area, about 350.
Let's see how Reddit is doing. Reddit straight up out of the gates, folks. Reddit straight up here. Apple actually breaking down a little bit.
TVGN right to where I'm considering buying. I want to see if it holds here. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to take it off my screen.
Good morning, Sally. Great to see you. Jan, where's Mitch? Mitch actually moved on. Boy, it has been a while since you've been around. Mitch actually moved on to another opportunity.
CCLD, that is still trying to push up and take those highs.
Bro's going to get a register ring on that one, watching it right out of the open here.
Oh, yeah. ACIU, knifing. TVGN
Cost
going lower.
popped into a halt. Cost, I think, is halted. Yep, cost halted. Thank you, Benzinga Pro. So is GME, by the way. GME halted now. That bounced off the VWAP to new highs. There we go.
Okay, so that means AMC going to be next too?
Well, it's meme trade Monday.
And look
now, here.
Now AMC is going to start taking off since those are halted. They're probably going to all pile into AMC now.
Lynn, good morning, Lynn. Great to see you this morning. Memes to make you scream. Welcome to the amusement park. Well
and
said.
There goes AMC.
AMC, new highs. Great call, 13. Tesla, new highs. So Tesla is ripping here as well.
Yeah, Jonathan nailed it. Risk is on again.
Absolutely, it is. Now, the SPY pulled back out of the open. We talked about that here, maybe going for new highs. Pull back here in the SPY, but it's early. It is early.
Yeah, all these speculative and low float names, and even IWM, they're all just doing really good this morning. Just be very careful later on in the day when all that volume goes away.
It's STFU. What the hell is going on here? Oh, dude, it's the meme stuff is back. Like I said, as soon as I saw this here this morning, I was like, things are going to be a little bit different. I feel like.
Yeah, remember
to be the case.
Remember, like a lot of this meme stonk, the pushes to these high prices, that was fueled by retail investors that had a lot of money at the time because they were getting government stimulus. That hasn't happened in a while. I don't expect the run to be as robust as it was last time.
CLSK here. This did pop. This is a Bitcoin play, although this is pulling back to the VWAP on CLSK. So TVGN rolling over here, it looks like.
EBS still going. Wow, look at this thing rocket.
EBS, that's a big move out of the gate here.
475 is where I have my target, and that's absolute target, and that's where it's at right now. Next one after that is going to be 545.
Cloud K20, what made the meme stocks come back all of a sudden? Courtesy of Benzinga Pro, it reported that Roaring Kitty started to tweet about it. I'm guessing, I don't participate in it myself, but I'm guessing the Reddit boards got spun up with a lot of this stuff. But as far as I'm aware, it's a Roaring Kitty catalyst here, Cloud 20K.
This is kind of been building up over the past week or two as well. If you can look at GME and see that this was starting to get going. And then we broke out of consolidation that we had from earlier in May this month, and now we're just taking off. So this is also this is a bit of a technical trade as well, but at the same time, yeah, a tweet from or a mention from Roaring Kitty saying that he's interested in GME or wants to trade us again. That's definitely going to start moving these stocks again. Absolutely.
Okay, and now Nvidia, here was the other thing that we had this morning. Nvidia had news that China was saying buy less Nvidia chips. That was from the Informer. That accounts for the drop that you see here on this chart. Now that drop got bought back. Nvidia actually went green here. I mean, I guess technically it's up from Friday's close, so it's been green the whole day, but it actually went higher than the pre-market here. So we'll see if Nvidia gets the juice. Looking around the market, the SPY's still coming in. The NASDAQ's a little bit lower than the opening print, but really not selling off here. So it looks like Nvidia still moving higher here, but not making the market go with it, at least not yet. Can confirm the app isn't working after making Schwab account. Daddy Backstrap, I had to change my app over from Ameritrade to Schwab. There was an option right on the login screen. Cost is halted, Jonathan. Yes, cost and GME halted at about the same time. And actually, there was a 5-second difference between that. Nvidia here, big pullback now. Just as we were talking about that, big pullback down to that $900 level. Justin saying on Robinhood, all my options are showing as $1 and a huge loss. The brokerages are doing something weird here. Cannot speak at all about Robinhood. I've never had an account with them. even for that gold card, which is pretty spiffy. Still, I've never had an account. I hope everything works out there for you, Justin.
Nvidia coming down to the pre-market lows and going through it. There's consolidation here from last week that it's breaking down through as well.
BlackBerry is higher. I know you kind of watched that one, 13.
Yep. Yeah, it's also one of the meme stocks too.
LiDAR is trying to go higher. That's ticker LIDR. I apologize. MGNX, another mention here. MGNX looks like this is trying to set some new highs. Reddit is flying. Reddit is traded above 60 here. I got to think this pulls back. GME is open, folks, and going higher on GME. Man, I'm trying to like wait for a pullback here, but I'm not getting any pullbacks. I guess that we did get that one right to the VWAP. GME ripping here.
Mm-hmm.
Costs also open here. Rivian is ripping. Are you getting a report of that? Rivian, yeah, this is moving here out of the open. Good one there on Rivian.
Big sell orders in GME at oh wow, they're just getting absolutely taken out.
See, that's the thing. Like I'm kind of watching that 213 and I'm thinking maybe we can play this on a pullback. There's just no pullbacks. And the size is getting eaten.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how many 29s now on GME. There's size there. They took it and threw 20-cent pop on that. Oh my.
Just 25,000 share tranches just, it's getting eaten up.
Yeah. Yeah, big move. Okay, so maybe this is finally the pullback here. Nope. GME's like, nope.
Watch. This is like algos trading. Watch. That's all it is right now. Is this algos? They're like, oh, hey, we have history about how we're supposed to trade this back from 2021. Maybe we should do that again.
Remember, algo computer programs. Don't forget DJT 5655 is the potential breakout spot. I'll be honest, though, I'm more interested here in GME. Are we going to halt again at 29.47? Yes. Second halt of the day here on GME to the upside, 29.47. Boy, I tell you what, that dip to the VWAP and rip, that was the move right there. That was the move. You guys having fun yet? See, a lot of people in the chat look like they're having fun here.
Yeah, I wonder
Andrew Tate said he's buying GME. I'm not sure if Andrew Tate moves the market, but I know that there's a lot of money there. So
buying.
I'm not sure how that affects it. Yeah, that's a courtesy of Wiss here. Palantir is trading up here.
Yep. Wow.
Nicholas, GME paid my trade the pool account for the week, and I'm out. Boom shakalaka. Let's go. Like hearing that.
Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to be done here at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's always a good day. AMC moving higher here or trying to?
Let's see here. All right, so Nvidia still going lower.
We think GME pops out of this halt. I would think another upside halt. We'll see. David, good morning, David. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. Intel is popping here. Looks like that's maybe coming off the bottom. Looking around here, looks like that Apple pullback got bought a little bit.
Reddit rocketed up to 61.21.
Wow, that did take it. Wow. Okay.
Sizu open. Crow was mentioning that one that was halted earlier. It's like, if you just bought up all the names that we've been trading for the past quarter and just held them, it seems like they're all just ripping today. Don't ever do that. That's not what I said, SDFU, but
I heard Red Rocket.
Yeah, you just keep that to yourself.
MGNX looks like this popped above 4 and came back in. Really curious on the GME halt here. Looking around at some other stuff. Let me put Nvidia in another window so I can kind of keep one eye on that too. Nvidia did move lower here, moving towards that 890 handle.
Great job, Jane. I know a lot of people were taking profit on Zim last week after that huge run. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And Sizu, this thing, I'm looking at it, and the spread is it seems dangerous. You know, you're talking like 20 to 50 cent spreads. I'm not sure if I want to even get into this, but if I do, it's going to probably be around 7:30. GME halted. Is this another halt? Did we just, or is this still the same
No,
one?
it's still, we're still in the same one here.
Okay.
LIDAR looks like, ticker LIDR looks like this could kind of move up here. Looks like it's trying to curl off the VWAP. 238 looks to be the spot it was having trouble getting through.
Nvidia really getting smacked around here.
890 on Nvidia.
Yep.
Bob's asking here, do you think some may be selling out of Nvidia to play the FOMO trade? I'm assuming the FOMO trade you mean there is going to be some of this meme stuff that's going on. Bob, if that's the case, I would imagine that that's only retail. I don't think institutions and big holders are going to dump an AI leader like Nvidia just to get on a GameStop craze. I don't think that's happening. I don't have one way to say for sure one way or another, but I would think this is just retailers kind of rotating. Retail traders, that is.
I'm not sure about that. It might be because it could, this thing could go higher. It's putting in a bit of a bull flag on the daily chart, but it's tough to not think that there's going to be some profit taking in this, because here's the thing. This whole pop, this whole huge rise in Nvidia started a year ago. So you could see some a lot of institutions pulling out of this because they've already met that criteria for 1 year long-term gains, that tax bracket. So I think you could see a lot of exiting from this position since they locked in those long-term gains, or since that long-term period, so they can take long-term gains and not be taxed the short-term gain rate. I think that's what could be happening here too.
Real quick here, Meta, we talked about this one last week here on a potential gap fill, did not quite get there and is rolling over. Jay, I did see this here. Meta actually looking just all selling volume. GME is open here and higher out of that halt. $30 now on GME.
Wow. So we got $6 since the open, huh? Well, about that. EBS trying to get back up to 475.
GME coming in now. Big pullback here on GME. See if we halt to the downside. 29 here. 2907 and halted to the downside. GME. Are we having fun yet, folks? Yeah, it'll halt here if it holds. They didn't hold it. It is not halted. I apologize. Do they really take this higher? Do they really take this higher? We're holding right here at 30. Oh my God, yes. Look at that. I like kind of want to trade this on small size in the prop account, and even so, it's crazy. Gonna halt here to the upside at 3170. Oh my heavens. GME. At least you folks are laughing here. At least you folks are, oh no.
Still going.
Okay, you know what? I am going to wait until the halt actually happens, because now I'm 0 for 2. I'm getting that. Here we go. Let's see if it halts right here. 3170 again. I'm not calling it until it actually halts 13. I'm not doing that again.
It may actually do it here. Yeah, it did.
There we go. There's your third halt. 3170 to the upside. Boy, oh boy. Okay, well. So who's glad they woke up and showed up early on a Monday here today? My toss account is somewhere in the cloud. Can't get into it still. Damn, Jay, it looks like you're having trouble there. Again, the only tip that I have for users from my own experience, there was a little thing I had to click on to switch to a Schwab login on both my app. Zoltan, M season, you guys are all exciting. Easy Mike, let's go. Easy Mike, good morning, man. Good morning. By the way, Tesla, while GME is halted here, let's check Check in on Tesla here. Look at this. Just all moves to the upside here.
Let's see what our, Tesla and Apple, only one's green today on the Mag 7.
Netflix a little bit lower. We already took a look at Meta, was really rolling over there. Bitcoin's doing a good job holding in here with this craziness going on.
Sydney asking if iNod continues. Wouldn't surprise me. Let's see. iNod is printing 11.12. I mean, it'll probably go to 12.
Big lots. Where's Gerald this morning? Big lots ripping here. Seeing some call sweeps there on that.
Now that one is a big shorted company, like big time shorted.
Yep. High short interest here on big. Did it drop?
It did. It almost got cut in half. The float did. That's shorted. It used to be 43%. Now it's down to 25.
Well, it looks like the float number is bigger. Did they do an offering?
Let's see here. No reverse splits. No secondary offerings.
No. Okay.
Just the short interest.
Okay. All right. So we're waiting for GME in the halt. DJT looks like it did pop to 56 and took a break. I don't think this is done. CCLD from the Crow right back to VWAP. Let's see if it takes it and gets rolling here again. Gerald says, I see it. Don't worry. Yeah, I bet you do, Gerald. I bet you do. Good stuff there this morning. Nvidia might be putting in its first bounce off this 890 level, bounced 3 points so far. What was that, 13? Sorry.
I was just going to say that it looks like CZU might try to go higher. 880 is the next upside target I have. Just needed some volume to return to this, and then it could start to get going. It doesn't have the volume it needs to move up right now, but the pattern it's putting in is pretty interesting.
CZU, let's see if it can take the VWAP out here. Pretty big spread on this at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 20 to 50 cent spread on this one. Okay. Now it's up to VWAP.
And don't worry, look at CCLD right through that VWAP, going for some new highs. I'd trim into this move as well. CCLD, this was a good one. Time to invest in Hollywood, as they'll be creating a GME Part 2 movie.
Dumber money. Or Dumb and Dumber
money.
Dumb and Dumber money.
Man, you guys can really get it. Nvidia continuing its bounce here. 4-point bounce off those lows now. Or off the 890. It might have actually printed beneath that.
EBS almost back up to 475. Looks like it's going to try and take that out, try to make a run for 545.
Haas holding higher here. Here's your EBS chart. How's Oost doing today, Sally? Is that higher here? Looks like it's curling back up. I wonder if this dip gets bought here on Oost.
Lynn, yes, I believe that's actually what happened.
Yeah, we did hear that. That's a report from somebody else, and I can't confirm it, so I don't want to report it as news. Zoltan mentioning to keep ENVX on the radar as well. Zoltan, I love your due diligence. Can you give us a couple of bullets about what's great about ENVX right here in the chat? That'd be sweet. Rick, out CCLD way too early, but gains locked in. Okay, well, right there tells me that you had good entry, picked a stock that was moving. The only thing that I can say for an adjustment to that, maybe just sell partial and leave a trailer on. Maybe put in a stop after that.
For ENVX, I think a break of 1050 would be very interesting.
Oh, it's a short ENVX. You're thinking a short squeeze candidate. Okay, good stuff there. CCLD, Crow, you're going to get another register ring. This was a great call here this morning. I, too, was out of it too early. Prince asking, my screeners suck. Any ideas for a screener? Yes, use the one in Benzinga Pro that has intraday relative volume. That's immediately how you can fix that. That's actually what I'm using right here. Here are the parameters of the scan if you want to just copy them down. Go ahead, 13.
CCLD is getting some volume here and it's breaking out.
I'm going to leave this up for a little bit so Prince can copy these down. Here is CCLD. Watch that high candle there. That high is 217 on CCLD. Oh my God. GME opened and halted already again to the upside on GME.
Look at that full-bodied candle. That's crazy.
Just Justin hit it right on the head. It just unfroze and froze again immediately. So when we talk about halts, this is actually what's difficult about it. If you're not on top of it, I don't know if you're trying to get out of a position. Obviously, you can see the struggle of getting into a position. The thing is just going parabolic out of the open. Really gives you no opportunity to have any type of tactical entry. Kind of just gotta, close your eyes and hope at that point. But we'll see here on CCJ. Prince, let me know if you're done with these scanner settings here. Volume for liquidity. RVol 5M30D, that's an intraday relative volume at 3. That is 300% the average volume. That should help you. Let me go back to trade the pool here.
Big lots over 4 going higher. AMC came in a little bit.
DJT looking like this is going for another 56 breakout here on DJT. Becca's mentioning ticker AI, big rip here. So Jay, you were mentioning, looks like a lot of the junk getting bought here off the GME AMC crap. Given by that sentence, you're not trading either of these names. Let us know what you are trading. You will go on to mention there Intel, SoFi, and Rivian, some of these junkier names. I think we can add AI to that list as well here. This is a decent push out of the open, back test of the VWAP, and a move higher.
Even Tupperware is getting
top again. You remember when we topped it up last time?
Oh, geez. Yeah,
Tupperware brands, I'll be damned.
And it's it's a short squeeze too. So it seems like short squeeze is the theme right now, because we have Tupperware that's got a 22% short interest, 12 days to cover. All these other names that are heavily shorter are getting squeezed. That seems to be what the play is right now. Squeeze the shorts.
Nvidia tried to bounce off 890 again. Looks like it's moving lower now on Nvidia.
EBS through 475.
ENVX, that was Zoltan's mention here. That's why that's moving as well. ENVX, this is a big rip here, Zoltan. Can't enter after this big move. Really need to wait for this to kind of calm down. Is cost moving here? Yeah, starting to move again here on costs. Still waiting on GME to open here.
Becca, I remember trading TUP.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was a big winner for Becca, if I'm not mistaken. I have trouble remembering everyone's trades, but some of them stand out. And I think the topping it up, I think that was a Bex trade. Oost is a Sally trade. LNTH is a Jay Rice trade.
Tupperware is rocketing right now.
I'm waiting for GME. The last time I took this off my screen, it opened and halted before I could even see movement. So frankly, I'm going to leave it on here and see. I'd love to get a pullback here. I think the upside mo is so great that even if you do get a pullback on GME, might be able to trade it. If you're going to trade this, go with small size though. I mean, I'm in a prop account, so if I take a loss on it, it's not the end of the world. Although I don't really want to be taking losses, and I'm going to reduce my size on this one because it's just too wild. You are right, Ryan. Okay, so my memory's not terrible, Becca. I mean, it's pretty bad, but in some cases, it has its moments.
ZK, I mentioned this one earlier that popped to 31.
Zeker, yeah.
Okay, so this one's curled. It's coming back up. It's looking to take out that 31.43. So if there's if you're looking for something to trade, there could be a potential trade here setting up right now.
Let's see if Zeker goes higher here. Going to bring GME back into focus. Here it is. It's open and higher, $2 higher, in fact.
Watch it halt again.
It's probably going to.
It's halting now. Or it was.
I learned my lesson last time.
Yeah. All right, it might halt here.
It's 36.70, dude. This is man. That tell you what, the buy at the open there, or the buy off that first dip, that was it. That was it. Halted again. Fifth halt to the upside. All of them upside.
And you know what? I saw somebody saying that there's no shorts available for this. So this is only going to continue to go up until there is probably shorts available.
Sorry, real quick. Hawaiian Electric up here. Rick, no, I did not start that. I did not start that. Okay. Lot of craziness going on here. Let's take a break real quick from some of the meme stuff, and let's talk about where the actual market is going. In order to do that, I can't think of anyone better than friend of Benzinga, Matt Malley. Matt, how you doing this morning, my man?
Well, I'd be doing better if the Bruins won last night, but we're holding in there. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there.
I'll tell you what, man. That Bruins Florida series is tough. Those two teams do not like each other. I'm with you there. We'll see. We'll see on the Bruins. As far as the market, looks like we're getting a little bit beat up here. I know we drifted a little bit higher here in the pre-market, but we've really kind of come in. I want to ask you about what you think about the market, just to kind of set the table here. I want to ask you about what you think about the market, what you think about that Nvidia news that we got this morning, if you've digested it yet. And then I'm almost hesitant to ask this, do you have any opinion on this GME craziness?
Well, I'll say the thing on GME, I'll just go very quickly because it's funny because a couple of years ago, I bought some because my wife said, let's buy some. And I was like, well, so we did. And I went to her, I said, it was tiny trade, tiny position, not going to make or break anything. And I said, hey, it's way up today. And she wants to hold on to it. If it was only my decision, I would sell it. But I'm going to say, hey, you told people to sell it. Why didn't you sell it yourself? It was like, because my wife told me not to. And I'm, after Mother's Day, day after Mother's Day, you don't want to be going against your wife. So
yeah, you want to stay married. I mean, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But in all seriousness, I just think that this meme stock thing is what, because one guy who hasn't tweeted in 3 years has tweeted, and it's up. That's just not a reason for me. So I would be selling it here, but I do want to make that caveat. So, but as for the overall market, I think that it's not surprising me it's come back in a little bit. The market's rallied. Obviously seen a nice bounce here. We got the big number coming out on Wednesday. We also have some numbers out of the retailers this week and guidance out of the retailers, and there's some more cracks starting to show up in the consumer. So people are going to say, hey, are we going to get some confirmation that these cracks are really starting to grow? But the big thing is going to be the CPI number on Wednesday. We might not like the fact that one number has a big impact on the market, but it does. I mean, we have to be reality. And the fact the market has been bouncing into this number wouldn't surprise me if we pull back just a little bit, as some people get a little bit nervous in front of that number after these big gains and take a few chips off the table.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like we're kind of running up to the all-time highs here. I'm still in I'm still in the bearish camp, I guess you could say. I'm waiting to see if that breaks before I change anything. I think we might put in another top right around those highs and move back down.
Well, and that will be very, very important, because if we do blow through this is a critical week. I mean, you say every week's a critical week. Well, if we break above those highs, it is, in a meaningful way, not just a little way, a meaningful way, it's going to run. Okay. But if it doesn't, like you say, another top here, that's a double top. Double top. What happened in 2000? What happened in 2007?
Yep.
Double top. You do not want to see double tops. So I'm definitely leaning towards your side of the equation. That this is, even though I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 days, kind of quiet, but we could have some real a lot of action later this week.
Yeah, and just to be clear about that level that we're talking about, one of the things that I look at to consider that level broken is multiple closes above that level. If the SPY trades above that intraday and comes right back in, to me, that's not it yet.
Exactly.
I want to see multiple closes above that level before that invalidates. All right, 13, you had something that you wanted to ask regarding China.
Yeah, so Matt, there's going to be, starting this week, they're going to have 138 billion in bonds they're trying to sell, and I believe that extends all the way through most of the rest of the year until November. I was curious if you had any take on that. How do you think that's going to impact financial markets globally?
Well, I mean, supply is becoming obviously a very, very, very important issue. I mean, it's kind of weird because on the one hand, the supply is so big here in the U.S. that they're like, well, we've got to keep rates low because we can't afford for them to go up because it'll cost us too much money to keep issuing all that debt at high levels. China has that same issue. The other thing, I guess, they can, obviously manipulate their markets in a big way, but there's only so much way we can do it. They can do it. They still have to rely on the global marketplace and what global investors are going to do. And so this supply, I think, is going to create problems here for the stock, for their markets overall, and for the global marketplace. And I guess I would say point out too is that there's a lot of reasons. A lot of people are really bullish on the China stock market, but if you look at the FXI, the big cap ETF in China, that thing's getting very, very overbought on its RSI chart. Coming back a little bit now, I think it's so on a technical level, I'm concerned about that market. And then with this new supply coming to the marketplace in the fixed income area, that's going to create some more headwinds as well. So it's definitely something that I'm worried about. I think people have too much confidence in that China can just manipulate their markets any way they want to. The markets are still bigger than any government, even or any central bank.
And my concern with this is that, well, they haven't been able to get the solar batteries or EVs, the heavily subsidized industries that they're trying to export to different parts of the world. That hasn't worked out. So they're trying to raise more money to subsidize their next endeavor, which is going to be chips. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing them stop buying Nvidia. They kind of want to take the reins themselves, and they want to start flooding cheap Chinese chips into the market. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're raising money, is to help subsidize that. That's just my speculation. I don't know if it's something you would think too. And
they still need money because of these real estate companies.
Yeah.
I mean, last week they were out there saying there's no way we're going to make our we're going to make people whole. Look to the government. Where's the government going to get that money? So it's another issue. But you make a very, very, very good point. And Nvidia, last May, Nvidia reported great numbers and great guidance. It's all going to be about guidance. But they also reported some real good numbers in August, and that didn't go so well for the stock. If this issue has a negative impact on Nvidia and on the chip sector, there's no more important leadership group than the chip stocks. That was the case for several decades, and even more so in the last year or so.
So we could be seeing probably a little bit of shakiness in the semis market going forward here, especially with Nvidia coming up, their earnings coming up next week.
Exactly, and we have this situation where the technology stocks are so. I mean, people can sit there and say, "Oh, well, don't worry, they'll rotate out of the tech stocks and into other areas of the market," and that does work if the tech stocks are just kind of going down a little bit, but they're still way overweighted, and if they start getting hit hard, they're 57% of the Nasdaq 100 and 30%. Forget about the Mag 7, all the tech stocks. 57% of the Nasdaq 100, 30% of the S&P 500. If they start going down, the whole market starts going down. And if the whole market starts going down, people forget about rotation and they sell and go into cash, especially with cash paying 5%. So this whole thing that you're talking about could have a big impact on the overall stock market at a time where like what Ryan talked about, could be forming a double top. So investors need to stay incredibly nimble right here and be very, very careful.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, really, really good stuff, Matt. So Nvidia, this is trading lower here. It's doing its best to try and recapture 900. One of the other stocks that I took a look at here was TSM. TSM is just down about 1% here today. So Nvidia looks to be taking a little bit more on the chin. Matt, any parting words of wisdom for the rest of this week?
Well, I just the one thing. Well, again, stay nimble. If you're into the options market, look at strangles. Because it could go either way, and so you could look at especially some index on the indexes. But the other thing to mention, of course, is this whole thing with natural gas. I mean, everybody's saying, "What's the next AI play?" Well, we all know about the what's going on with the utility stocks. The XLU is very, very overbought. Be careful about that. But the natural gas stocks are not. Okay, and natural gas, the commodity, is starting to break out. It's gotten clobbered for a while, built a nice base for the last 2 months, now starting to break out to the upside. So stocks like Cheniere and Chesapeake, the old Apache, which is now APA Corp, some of these names that have a lot of exposure to natural gas should do very well. And I don't know if they're going to skyrocket like some of the utilities have, but it's more than just an AI play, and it's very, very oversold. So take a good look at that, because there's going to be a lot of volatility in the marketplace. This is one group that could really surprise people to the upside.
I think there might be some a cap onto how much natural gas could run, considering that we have export controls on natural gas. So I think that kind of limits the upside that some of these companies could see on their exports.
Well, but the thing is that it's very, very, very oversold. And so so I mean, again, look, what's the setup going into it? Well, we always want to look at the fundamental backdrop, but what's the setup going into it? And again, I don't disagree that natural gas is going to triple in the next. I'm not saying anything like that, but it when it's coming off that over kind of sold kind of level, and you have these stocks with relation to a big exposure there being under-owned, the whole thing kind of feeds on itself. So again, I'm not looking for these things necessarily to be, the next, skyrocket and double. But these are stocks that should be able to outperform in what could be a tough market over the next month or two.
Okay. Really, really good stuff there, Matt. And by the way, while we were talking here, GME has now gone up to 38 and all the way back down to 30. So in the last 4 minutes or 5 minutes, we have an $8 range on this absolute madness. Matt, we'll check in with you next week after this very important week is in the books. Happy Mother's Day and have a great rest of your week.
You too, guys. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Thanks so much. That is Matt Malley, everybody. And if you want to check out more about Matt's expertise, please head on over to our research site. Matt does a great job with one of our services over there. And also, let me give you a link to a webinar that we are doing pretty soon here. You can actually learn some more about that. So really good stuff. We're really appreciative of Matt Malley sharing some of his time here today. Absolutely. All right, 13. What do you think? What a lot is going on here today. I feel like I look away for 3 seconds and everything's different. GME halted to the down, or moving to the downside here now.
One thing that I was looking while Matt was speaking is that we started to put in a bear flag for Nvidia on a lower time frame chart. So I'm looking to see if that's going to roll over pretty soon here. It looks like it might be starting to do that. I'm not 100% sure though, but this thing definitely looks like we're headed lower. I don't think that news was great, and I think this. I think there's a little bit of nervousness going into the earnings next week now.
Okay, that link is in the chat here. GME. I'm not going to make an early call here. GME is halted for the 7th time. That's 2 downside halts in a row. The absolute peak was 38.20. The current downside halt here, 29.99. That is an $8.21 range. This is absolute madness. Hopefully you folks booked on the way up, or at least partial.
Looks like CCLD is trying to push up to the pre-market high. 268 is the pre-market high.
Wow, this kept going. Crow, you're going to get a 1-up here. This was a great call. Sorry, 13.
No worries.
What you were saying? You did you have a level on this one?
The 268 is the upside target that I have that needs to break. That's the pre-market high. So I think that we're going over that. I don't have levels above that. I'd have to start drawing them out.
Gotcha. I think you're probably right on that. Here we go on CCLD.
Yeah, the other ones that we were talking about this morning, ACIU and TVGN, nothing.
Yeah, some of those other names that actually reported news, boy, not the greatest day for that. Seems like traders are going to be busy with the all-important week that we have in the broader market, and then the meme stuff that's going on here. Gunslingers looking for volatility. I can absolutely understand why they'd be going after this instead of those other stocks we talked about.
Looks like CCLD is trying to get pushed down more, putting in some ugly looking wicks.
You guys also, while we were talking there, you were mentioning rent. Looks like rent is popping here and pulling back. Maybe that sets up QBTS. We'll take a look at that.
CCLD is trying to push higher now.
That 255 spot has some size there. We'll see if that stops it or if that gets eaten.
It could top out too. I mean, those wicks are not looking great. The MACD's indicating that this momentum is really been extended. RSI is pretty high. I think that the next pop, if we get one, it'd probably be one to sell.
Yeah, I think you're probably right here. The one thing I will say, volume looks like it's expanding here. We are 40 cents away from the VWAP, so a pullback to VWAP definitely in the cards here. M season, GME done or still a rip? Well, it's currently on the backside of a move, but I am not confident enough to say that GME is done. I'll just say that right here.
I would say look and see what happens when it gets to VWAP, which I currently have just beneath 28. So you might get your answer the next unhalt. Wait, is it even halted? Or are we just not moving?
No, it is halted. It is halted to the downside. It is the 7th halt of the day. $29.99 is that price.
Usually it tells me if it's halted, and it's not saying that it's halted.
I have it here. The last halt halted at 10:26, courtesy of Benzinga Pro. Halt number 7.
That's interesting. My broker's
Cost
not on
looks
that
like
one.
it was resumed right above it on my list. So CCLD pulling back here. See if it loses that big bid there at 235. It did.
Yeah, those wicks were kind of telling you the story. Look to see if it can support at VWAP.
We'll see if it does that. Be right back. 1 sec, 13.
Sure. Oh, wow. Really kind of sectioned me off. There we go. Right here. All right. LIDR making another great gap. I'm sorry. Is that what you're talking? GP gap 250. Let's see here. LIDR. What do we got with LIDR? Just been kind of consolidating all morning. We had a nice pop out of the gate and then just been sideways ever since. So I guess the target to take out is 256. Making another go. I see. Okay. Yeah, is for the boring money maker. Great job, Seahorse Trading. JJ. Excuse me, I typically look at 5-minute charts. That's where I got the wicks. Line Atlas, yeah, FMC. Let's go. Let's get some more of those gains. It's coming back in beneath VWAP. On the trading side of this, I took a little bit when it got above 68.50. Just waiting for a little bit more upside.
Here we go. All right, that pullback still happening here on CCLD.
Gerald is in BOC. I'm going to take a look at that one.
They are talking about GameStop on CNBC. I can't tell what they're saying. Just mentioning that they're saying it. GME is open. We'll flip over to that.
Okay. I got you, Gerald. BOC. That could be a good one. I mean, we're really close to the what is this, the all-time low? No, not the all-time low, but definitely the 52-week low of 1355. So are we kind of thinking it reverses soon? I mean, that's what it seems like you're getting at here. It could be a good one.
GME might be trying to bounce here.
EBS still pushing up. That's knocking on the door of 5. I have 545 as the upside target.
Okay, I'm going to try some GME here. I can't believe it. I'm already down.
Nvidia is coming. It's trying to push back up to 900.
GME trading up here.
Yeah, I don't know about GME.
Taking it off right here. Nice little scalp. That was fast. That was very, very small and very, very quick. Okay, we'll see here on GME. One scalp in. Had to wait those halts out. This didn't have the same back and forth feeling of a potential halt. So now we'll see what direction it picks. Ryan, the adrenaline junkie, the opposite. The opposite of that. Ryan's trying to step outside of his comfort zone into a zone that he has absolutely no comfort. But we just made a quick $110 there.
Or it was looking like it was going to halt again here.
Sally Oost continues to go. This dip here getting bought. And actually, if we take a look at this 1 hour chart here, this actually looks like it's curling to try and take out those highs. Those are right above 14 here on Oost. Let's go back to GME real fast.
It did get halted. It did halt there.
No, it's still trading. Did it? Oh,
it says halted.
Yep. Nope. You're I apologize. GME, 8th halt. This one to the upside. Okay.
EBS through 5. It's on its way.
By the way, Lion Atlas, you were asking about E-Trade earlier. I have no E-Trade account, and I've never had an E-Trade account, so I don't know. I am seeing one of another trader reporting here that they did have. What?
I'm sorry, WISA is popping.
Oh, and Alyssa just joined, so I wasn't sure. Yeah, real quick here. E-Trade did have problems this morning, but it appears to be working now per some other traders. I have no experience myself. Alyssa, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run you over there.
No, I was just going to come on and say, like, the Twitter streets, yeah, everyone's saying that E-Trade's messing up for them too. I think a few other brokers.
Okay, so this is a report that's floating around out there. It does not seem to be specific to Lion. Okay, well, so there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Appreciate
40,
that.
Not Alyssa, but WISA popped 40 cents in the past 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, yes, it did. That 320 up to 360 here. Looks like a little bit of size there at 366.
Yes, Vic. GME is halted currently.
And Vic, if you're counting, that is the 8th halt. So real quick here, I'll show you how I do that. Benzinga Pro has an awesome tool in Signals that reports halt and resumes in real time. But in addition to that, it counts them. So GME here, 8th halt, this one to the upside.
EPS with 12 green candles on the 5 minute.
GameStop's entire option chain is in the money. 13, I'm sorry, man. I had to laugh. What were you saying there?
Oh, just saying EBS has not had a green candle yet on the 5 minute. I'm sorry, not had a red candle yet.
Not had a red candle yet. And I only see 3 green candles on the 3 minute.
It's all about time frames.
Alyssa, are you trading GME today?
So I was gonna buy it like right before it started like going up and halting, but I'm like, nah, it's just gonna, it's gonna be nothing. And then
and then this craziness.
And then this started happening. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like wait till it like drops, and then I was gonna I was thinking about buying it when you just did, but then didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I was in the exact same boat as you. I was like, you know what? We're gonna do something different today, and we're gonna trade this puppy. And then I was watching it. I'm like, okay, I just gotta wait for it to sell off. We had no pullbacks. We had like no pullbacks. So I was happy I'm able to get one at least. So we'll see if we're able to get another opportunity here. NVAX, how's NVAX doing? That was another one that we were taking a look at. That was, oh my God, NVAX actually took 11.
Nice.
Susan mentioning Clove, CLOV, Clover Health. This actually higher here. This is a penny stock. Looks like it's going for dollar territory on Clove.
I want to think that this was part of some of those meme stocks. Let me take a look at that.
Yeah, maybe you're right on that. By the way, Sound, Becca called Sound earlier. This went to highs and has pulled back. Looks like it's trying to regain the VWAP right here. I've got it at 557, but I've got big size at 555.
Clover definitely was. It definitely was. If you go to a daily chart and you look at 2021, it had a spike. Now I don't know if this was not during the same time as the other meme stocks. That was like in January and February. This pop that it had was in June.
Yeah, so here it is, by the way. Here's the exact pop that 13 is talking about.
I don't know if that was like if that was news or some kind of catalyst or something, but I do remember in 2021 this one was moving on something. And I thought it might have been like a short interest squeeze or just, kind of like some folks looking around for the next meme stock because they were moving, throughout the, pretty much for the first half of the year. They just moved a whole bunch in the first 2 months. So,
all right, we'll see here when this opens. We're actually expecting an open pretty soon here. Real quickly here, Jay Summers saying no response from live support in the TOS web platform. Guys, this is what I will say. As someone that has spent a lot of years working in support for multiple companies, A day like today is probably one of the worst days for these for the company and for these particular employees. So I know they're probably inundated with requests. Try and be nice to them. Just try and be nice to them. A personal ask from me to some stranger. GME looks like this is open now and popping higher.
Lion Atlas, thanks for giving me that info. I couldn't tell that from looking at the chart because it didn't look like there was much hovering around $10. Did that SPAC, that merger happen when it spiked in June, or did that happen previously, like in 2020? I could probably look, but if you have that on that information on deck, that'd be great.
Jason, I'm on the phone with them and they don't have a clue what's happening. Oh, okay. No, Born, I wouldn't. I know that you're nice to everybody that you come in contact with. But yeah, let me know what I'm sorry that you folks are going through this. I know how frustrating this is. Believe me, I do. And I'm not trying to minimize that. But Born, let us know what you hear here. GME bouncing here. This is going higher here. What do you think, folks? Do we trade this again?
Well, I think that EBS is going to hit that 545 target. It still has not put in a red candle on the 5-minute.
Yeah, 13 has no time for GME.
I traded that stock once back in 2021, and I think that's the only time I did it.
Bonjour, smoked tuna. Hopefully you're having a great morning here today. GME is back with a vengeance. Here we go on a pullback. Let's see where this pullback settles, folks. You know, one of the things that I was doing on that other buy there is I was kind of watching these volume candles and I was kind of waiting for them to change over, right? I was waiting for that selling pressure to kind of change over to buying pressure. Then that gave me the confidence to enter there. Sorry, 13. What were you going to say?
LIDR had a spike, new highs in the intraday. It's at 265. That was a new highs. It's pulled back a little bit since then, but it's still higher. It's still printing the highs of the day. I'm just looking around.
So here's a quote from S3 Partners. GME today's 92% price move has slapped shorts with a minus $1.03 billion in mark-to-market losses. Oh, wild day here, folks. Okay, so GME, are we going to try and go higher here?
That's how it started last time too.
Yeah.
It just started chipping away.
All right, back on the adrenaline horse. Going to have a tight stop with this though, because if it comes, yeah, you laugh it up, guys. Laugh it up. If it starts to pull and get out of control, we'll close it. If we pop here, we'll scalp into that pop and close it for a gain.
Thank you,
Working on
Funky.
house money at this point, so sorry, 13.
No, I'm just saying thank you, Funky, for confirming.
Oh my
suspicion.
God, big move here on GME.
This thing is spready. Going to blast through 33, it looks like. We're trying to.
Might come back in too.
Anyway, let's see what else.
Or higher. Never mind.
Soundhound hit 577, came back in, and now it looks like it's bound support and is trying to turn around and to make another visit to 575. There's a big old sell order at 559. So if we get through that, we might see that that break above 575.
Here we go for 33 for GME. Oh, coming back in. Man, this is all over the place, folks.
Oh, spready? Yes, it is a word. You take spread.
Spready is for sure a word. Yeah, if you try, I'm taking GME off. We'll see if we get another opportunity there. That's 2 for 2 on GME. It definitely feels weird, but spready. Rick, look, if you're, I speak trader, so as far as I'm concerned, spready is definitely a word.
I know it's already been moving, but another meme stonk was rocket companies.
Oh, RKT, right? Ticker
Yeah.
RKT on that one.
Yeah. So that one, it's had some movement this morning. It's like 4%. This one also has some short interest. I don't think this has moved in the way that it could, though. So just give it time. This might also be one of these runners.
Wisdom, take care of yourself. Yeah, Rick, maybe it's not an official word, but it's a Ryan word.
He's joking with us. We got
No, I know. Okay, stay focused here. Good morning. I hope you're well. Judging by this comment, you're not as happy as you could normally be. Toss has caused me thousands of dollars today. You know what's weird about this stay focused is that we're getting varied reports. I switched over this morning. I actually tried to log in yesterday and couldn't. I switched over this morning and nothing went wrong. I got all my workspaces, all my positions, all my indicators. Everything seems to be working. I'm sorry to hear that you're having that. Have you had any support? Anything that you've learned that you can maybe share with the group? I am peeking at the scanner here, folks. By the way, NVAX, whoever was on that one, I know that there were a couple of people trading NVAX here today. This has made 2 legs up now on NVAX. Smoke Tuna coming out of the gates blazing here with SPWR. That's Sun Power here. That's moving higher here. 275 on Sun Power. GME looks like it did take out that 33 level, trying to go higher here.
INOD might move too.
Yeah, Sally sees. So Sally's saying here, I moved this morning, but I had to select Schwab when signing into the Toss Mobile. I did the same thing, and when I tried to log in on desktop, it actually sent me to the Schwab login. So that was the only thing that was different, but it worked. Jesse is still in on NVAX since 409. Okay, well, Jesse, you are up almost 200% here. I'd like to know what your plan to book those gains are. The glitch is by design, says Gerald. TUP bouncing again here. GME, this does look, it's slowing down here at 33, but that doesn't mean anything. You could get one roaring kitty tweet or roaring kitty order, or just frankly a roaring order, and that might take out that level there. SPY is pulling back here. It tried to bounce here. I'll actually show you that. SPY tried to bounce after that initial pull, and that bounce has now been met with a knife. We're right at the lows here on SPY. Watch for this to go lower.
I want to see Nvidia go lower.
You knew what was going on yesterday. Stay focused, and they assured you it would be ready, and then it wasn't. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. Letting customers down is something I take personally. Alyssa can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
Apple's trying to go higher here. Ticker AAPL at 185.75 is the resistance level. I'm sorry, 13.
Isn't Schwab publicly traded?
It's SCHW. How's that stock doing this morning? Oh, a little bit lower, but just fractionally.
Yeah, the real bad news might come later.
Robert mentioning MPW. Oh my God, Medical Properties Trust. What a ramp, Robert. I don't think I know what this is. Is this a REIT or something?
It seems like a REIT.
Yeah, let me take
like
a look
medical
here real quick. Medical Properties Trust is a healthcare facility REIT.
Yep, just like GMRE.
Yeah,
seems like it's very similar. Wow, this chart looks crazy.
How's the short interest on this one? 50% of the float shorted as of the end of April on MPW. 12.91 days to cover. Gosh, maybe we hooked a short squeezer here.
Well, this is an interesting chart too. I mean, if you look at it daily, you can see that this thing double topped back in January 22, and it just has been going down ever since. Just the 200-day SMA has just been keeping this thing down, and now we're curling, and it's broken above it, and we could be getting a golden cross here in a matter of days. This is interesting. This thing could end up being really good, especially if we start getting hints of rate cuts.
Robert Harp, great mention there. Stay focused here, saying some REITs have huge short floats for your information. Indeed, that is the case. Stay focused also mentioning in 13, this was one of your tickers. RKT was part of my trade plan on Friday for today. What was that trade plan, Stay Focused? 13, I know you were watching that one too.
Yeah, and a lot because it has like that high short interest. It's a play on mortgages. There's still demand for new homes, but nobody wants to buy at high rates. So as there's potential rates get cut, then there's going to be buyers coming in. It's going to be good for that stock, other mortgage stocks. There's a lot of things that are rate sensitive right now are heavily shorted. You could look at utilities. You could look at the REITs. Anything that's tied to doing better with when there's low interest rates are having a hard time right now because of how high up they are, and so they're going down, and now they're getting squeezed, and now we're talking about turning around and cutting rates at some point. That's on rates raising and getting cut are still both on the table, but I think that until we get that CPI report, the market's kind of in this mode of we might be getting rate cuts sooner rather than later. Sorry, Lizzie.
And that's why Matt was saying this week was so important. Real quickly here, Stay Focused saying, just join happy hour and I'll tell you about it. In this industry, we call that a tease. Well done, Stay Focused. Alyssa, what were you going to say there?
I was going to say GME is pulling back more. It's 30.72.
Yep.
Look for it to get support from VWAP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I've got this VWAP at 29.16, and remember that 29.99 was where that last halt was, where it really bounced. That was our first trade on it.
CCLD might be getting going here.
Fairchild here says, this chat is great education every day. This was my entire goal from the start with any of these chats. Even if sorry, Alyssa, hang on, let me see. There we go. Even if I don't do a good job, it is my hope that our community or our process is helping you do a good job. So this means a lot to hear, Fairchild. Really appreciate that.
CCLD, it's really starting to move now. Got a few walls to bust through. It seems every 5 cents from here, there seems to be a big sell order. So 35, 30, 45, 40. Seems to be big sell orders there. Just people trying to get out of this thing.
Great VWAP bounce on CCLD. Yeah. Great VWAP bounce here. And indeed, Webcoin, that was a nice curl off of that VWAP.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Apple's still holding that 185.95 high. DJT really couldn't break out from 56. That's kind of a nothing. MPW knifed, but is getting bought back up. What a gift that was. GME, I know we're all still kind of watching. I'm curious. I might try this again, Alyssa. If we get to that VWAP and we don't really kind of sink through it, we might try a third trade here. Now that we've got two, that we've built some profit up, I actually don't feel as bad about it.
Are you just going to make that next trade smaller than the previous ones?
No, it'll be the same size, but I will maintain my tight leash. And because I've made money on both trades, even if I lose a little bit on the tight leash, I'm still going to be net positive on the day. And when you're trading something that feels like a casino, like GME, I'll count that as a dub and move on, even if the size is less than impressive. Justin saying CNN old guys. I don't know how they're going to recover from that. Yikes. CNN old guys said that a cartoon on X has GME surging. Do they not know what a meme is? It would appear as if they don't. It would appear as if they don't.
Memes are cartoons now.
We all know they're all out of touch.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking the same thing, Alyssa. That seems very out of touch. Well said. Without criticizing any one individual, I will say that does seem a tad out of touch. For all you baseball fans that remember Bob Uecker, was just a bit outside.
You should ask him, hey, are these like any of the kind of cartoons you used to watch in the movie theater back in the 1920s? Anyway, just to kind of like.
Okay, now we're popping off here.
Yeah, now we're going to start to have these age wars with these old guys.
By the way, I am seeing some GME calls on the Benzinga Pro Unusual Option Activity Scanner. When I monitor the call flow on regular days, I generally don't see GME in there. I do see the regular names like Apple and Nvidia and Meta and such, but I'm seeing a lot of GME prints, and these aren't small. Some of these are 100K or more in the initial transaction. So keep that in mind. Jay's Life here saying, Ryan, walk away with the money on GME. No. So really quickly here, what Jay is saying here is extremely good advice, right? When you're trading something that's volatile and you're able to actually build gains, walking away from that with the money in your pocket is a really, really good idea. Jay, one of the things that I'll say here is that my size is, I'm trading 100 share lots. So my size is so reduced on this, and it's in my prop account. Say again?
Is it halted?
GME halted, 9th halt. Good shout there, Alyssa. Just happened while I was babbling here. Yes, that is the 9th halt here on GME. This one to the downside. This is interesting, though, because we're right here at VWAP. So go ahead.
Sorry, real quick.
You're
EBS had hit a high of 525. That's 20 cents away from my target.
This.
First red candle that I've seen today on this one on the 5-minute.
Look at this.
For me, if I had still a position in this, I think I'd be considering maybe getting out of this. Could get one more pop and then a drop, but for now, this is different than the other moves that we've had from this all morning. It's going sideways. I think this is where I'd exit.
Ooh, Jonathan. I hadn't heard this. I can't confirm it, but this is a report from one of our ex-viewers. First of all, Jonathan, thank you for joining us. You're welcome. We welcome you here. Excuse me. A ton of people are stuck in GME. You can't sell it on E-Trade since the open. Is that what some of those E-Trade issues were? I smell a huge lawsuit coming. Can't speak to either of those, but man, I hope all you E-Trade users are all right.
Yeah, just go back and look and see what happened with Robinhood when they were regulating how that was traded. You can get an idea of what is to be expected of E-Trade then.
CCLD here, good mention. That is continuing its pop off the VWAP here, CCLD.
Yeah, that's had a nice going. But remember, these wicks that they're putting in there, if we close this particular candle on the 5-minute and have these long top wicks starting to take shape, we could see some downside, so be careful.
Becca says craziness today. Indeed. It is a crazy Monday, but I can't think of a better way to spend it than with you folks. So smash up that like. Let's go.
Aww.
Yeah. See, again, just trying to breathe positivity, Alyssa. That's what we do.
Lion Atlas mentioning CVS. Okay, this one's looking like it's trying to break out of the bull flag that it put in. So that 57.55 is the current high intraday, and it's trying to break out of that level there too right now. Some pretty big sell orders at that level too. The volume expands, could break out there. I don't have levels on this one, so I couldn't really tell you where this is going next, but it looks like it's trying to get above that 57.55 level. Moving from the 52-week low. Great, thank you.
FMC, that little intraday dip got bought. That looks good.
It does that a lot. If it pops out the gate, it will come back in a little bit, and then it'll just turn around and go higher later on. That's what it's been doing lately. You can look back at the previous days and see how that has kind of taken shape most of the time.
All right, while we're waiting for GME to open here, I do want to remind you we do have a all-access here with Lightwave Logic coming up here. So we're going to be out of here about 10 minutes early for that all access. You don't have to go anywhere. We'll keep the content rolling. And then also we will, of course, be looking at all of these again tomorrow when we assess where the dust settles. The one thing I will say here for GME, I'm going to keep this on my screen today. Even if I place no more trades here, I absolutely want to monitor what's happening with this and how it's trading.
Baba getting mentioned by Lion Atlas. It doesn't look like it's ripping to me. It looks like it's just kind of going sideways right now. It had a nice move up out of the gate this morning, but now it's just been sideways, and it looks like it might want to roll over. The news on it isn't too great. SoftBank Group offloads entire Alibaba stake after Jack Ma founded company causes $6.16 billion loss. I don't necessarily think that's great, but
Ooh, Carmen, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. I got to ask, do you make a mulberry pie? That would be pretty interesting. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining us. 13 ENB holding that $37 support level.
Good.
By the way, Nvidia, after that second leg down during the regular session here, it's used its VWAP as resistance. Another test here trying to get back over it. We'll see if it's able to do that. Here's that ENB chart that you folks are taking a look at. That's Enbridge. Oh, and Lynn, the bird is back. Yeah, so actually the bird is back double time. Cleo's brother is visiting for a week while Cleo's brother's owners are on vacation. So they're in the next room. They're talking to each other, and boy, you can hear them.
They're tweeting.
They're
so WISA is trying to push up now to the 369 high that it put in intraday.
The casual drops of jokes.
I know. Alyssa, I'm glad that you said that because it's the mere casualness of it that really kind of gets me. 13 does that like you would not believe.
I love the deadpan humor. Leslie Nielsen and Lloyd Bridges are two of my favorite actors.
Robert saying, my new channel, love the vibe. We're glad to have you here, Robert. That's exactly what we want to hear. We're going to talk about the markets, and when there's serious shit going on, pardon my language, we're going to cover it. But the other thing, we're going to try and lighten the mood. We're going to try and make it fun to go through this. It's no fun if you're just staring at your computer mad all day. So we appreciate that. Glad to have you.
You know how serious Ryan is when he drops an S-bomb.
Oh, man.
That's how serious he gets.
It's the GME pulling it out of me here. Frankly. All right, let's see. GME is open now. Looks like we're getting a bit of a bounce here off that VWAP. See if it loses this or if we continue. Bounce looking good here. See if it reclaims 30. Seems to be struggling with 30 at the moment.
China asks tech firms to favor local AI chips over Nvidia's. I really have to think that the money they're trying to raise with those bonds is going to try to end up being subsidies, and it's also in retaliation to the tariffs that are going to be coming this week.
Trying some GME here. If I die, tell the world my story. Looking for a 30 break here. We'll see if we get it.
The story is he got meme stomped.
He got skunked.
Yeah, LIDR it's trying to come back here. We need to see a little bit more volume expansion, but 286 is the intraday high it's trying to move up to right now.
This one might be a no-go, folks. We're gonna have to bounce right here. If we lose 29, I'm out.
Then Randy, I did see that ARM AI news that they're going to start manufacturing their own.
Out GME. Okay, so lost on that one, but we're still 2 for 3 here today.
Well, let's keep it that way.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to attack it that way. That's why I was like, yeah, tight stop. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's the beauty of building up gains to start with. So
LIDR new highs.
Always easier for me to trade when I get the first couple to work. LIDR, great call here. This is actually taking multiple legs up as well. WISA getting mentioned by the Crow. WISA looking like it's going for those highs.
Yeah, I think that one could be next. If the volume just keeps expanding a little bit more, and we could break through that 369 high.
TR, Tracy mentioning ticker TR Tootsie Roll. Oh, was that did meme, didn't it, last time? That was one I forgot about. GME looks like this is going lower here. That VWAP, clean break of the VWAP. We'll see when that either goes lower or when that bottoms out here. This is exactly why I wanted to have a tight stop on that. I have no interest in giving back these gains on this move down. AMC has legs, huh? It's going back for those highs.
I am not going to reveal my too deep into my past by saying, wow, when I think of Tootsie Roll, I think of that 69 Boys song.
I think I know what you're talking about, but at the risk of just
let me see that Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I was correct. Okay.
We had many dances that featured that song, and man, did we cut a rug. Yeah, CFU knows. All right. Looks like things just kind of like went sideways for a bit.
Indeed. But don't forget, folks, we're almost done here. We're going to have Zunaid joining any moment now, and they're going to do a quick all.
There he is.
Oh, my God, Zunaid. It's like your ears are burning or something.
I mean, what's burning is the bags of GME and AMC holders. I know there are a lot of you in the chat. I know that's a thing that y'all are dealing with. I was hoping to buy it at 20.
They're actually dealing with what they're going to spend their money on, because our chat's been absolutely straight murdering it today in the good way.
Yeah, my Cash App is $SULEMAN 27. I don't have a Venmo because I got kicked out of there. True story. Don't want to talk about it. But I've also been suspended from Uber and eBay. But story for another.
What on earth are you doing in your personal life, dude?
I don't know how I passed a background check. I'm kidding. Jeez. I am kidding. But appreciate you all. Yeah, it's going to be a fun interview that we've got. We actually recorded this because the camera in the office is nicer than what I'm working with right now. And AT will say it's because I haven't set mine up. But anyway, we've got an all access. We recorded this on Friday with Lightwave Logic. It's going to be Dr. Michael Lebby. We've had great conversations with him in the past, who is the chairman and CEO of Lightwave Logic. A lot of interesting things happening. They reported earnings, so we're going to go ahead and talk about that. And, hopefully the next time I talk to him, it'll be in front of their manufacturer. So we're good to go. Appreciate all three of you for hanging out. And we'll get this all access started here in just a minute.
You got it. And just like Zunaid's fade haircut, the rest of us will fade out.
Wow. That's the way it works. All right, y'all. Here is the all access. Benzinga Nation. Today we've got a great guest with us. It's going to be Dr. Michael Lebby, who is the chairman and CEO of Lightwave Logic. Ticker on the NASDAQ is LWLG. All access starts right now. Doc, welcome back to the show.
Great. It's great to see you again.
I am excited because there were some updates that you left us with last time that I'm looking to get more clarity on this time around. But before we dive into that, give the folks at home a quick overview of what is it that your company does.
Lightwave Logic is a company that's based in Denver, Colorado. We create chemistry polymers. These polymers are turned into little components that get used in the internet to speed up the internet. So when you have a problem at home and you have to turn your video off because you don't have the bandwidth, these types of technologies will solve that problem.
Now, I know last time we spoke, but also in your Q1 PR, you mentioned you had some folks come and check out your live demo. So what types of visitors come to see the live demo for your packed polymer modulators?
This has been, since we last talked about 3 months ago, this has been incredibly busy, incredibly exciting. And yeah, the types of visitors, we've had over 20 major corporations come look at our packaged polymer modulators. And the reason being is the performance, like we've indicated all along, has really been blowing people away. Now, I'm not going to go into the technical numbers, but it's certainly world-class, and it's what the data centers and what we call the hyperscalers are really looking for.
Now, I know you recently achieved world-class performance on your polymer material in the optical interconnect links. Can you elaborate on the implications of the data center industry standards, but also how you can use this in future applications as well?
So if we think about what the internet is it's like a mesh of fiber optic cables that go all over the country.
Yeah.
Think of it as like your interstate highway, and the data centers are the intersections. That's where the traffic gets backed up and, it takes time. It's no different in the data centers. And actually what's been happening is the generative artificial intelligence, the really big, exciting push from companies with GPUs like Nvidia. They've been generating a lot more information on the internet. And so that's actually forced or driven the hyperscalers, the data center guys, to upgrade their equipment. And they're upgrading their equipment to what is known as little boxes called pluggable transceivers that work at speeds of 800 gigabits per second and beyond. And these guys are looking for technologies to support the upgrades. And our technology fits perfectly into the performance these guys are needed to upgrade, if you like, the intersections, the traffic intersections. We call them data centers.
Yeah. Now, I know it's a little bit different than what y'all are doing, but Doc, every month I check if my apartment building has fiber capabilities or not. And every month I'm disappointed, but that's okay. Let's keep it moving. Now, I know there's certain things you can tell us, certain things you can't, but I have to ask, any insights on the types of strategic partnerships or collaborations that you're pursuing following the Q1 update that you gave? but also like how are these partnerships going to align with your growth objectives that you've laid out for the company?
So first of all, a lot of the visitors, I mean, these are big players, tier one players.
Yeah.
And so these are folks that are really taking a close look at this technology, and that's really exciting. But in terms of the strategic partnerships, obviously what we have is an engine for a pluggable transceiver box. This is a box that's 1 inch wide and about 4 inches long. And those folks we're partnering with silicon foundries. And I think I mentioned just a couple of months ago that our technology is now on 200 millimeter silicon wafers. These are silicon wafers that are 8 inches in diameter. This is the commercial standard. And so we're really excited that our technology is being put onto this type of platform. And so, yes, foundries as well as manufacturing facilities, as well as packaging. So our focus, our key thing that we add to the industry is the chemistry, is the polymer. And we're partnering folks that really can help scale that in volume.
Now, I know in May you've got your annual shareholder meeting, but before I ask you about that, one final update from the Q1 side, you went ahead and highlighted your contributions to the IPSR-I, which is your Integrated Photonics System Roadmaps International. Can you discuss how these positions, right, how it kind of helps you with the integrated photonics industry and drive that long-term growth opportunity for the company?
Yeah, yes, I can. So if we think, we've all heard, maybe some of us have heard of Moore's Law that was in the silicon industry that started in the 60s with Gordon Moore from Intel. And what came out of that was an industry roadmap for the silicon industry. It had red brick walls and things, and it indicated how far the technology could advance in the future. So the silicon industry has had a roadmap for the last, let's call it 40, maybe even 50 years. This is the photonics roadmap. This is something that folks have been working on for the last decade. And what they do is they forecast out over the next 10 to 20 years the key technologies that are going to be needed for things like optical communications, the internet, data centers. And the good news is that polymers are on that roadmap for the next 20 years, both from a polymer material standpoint in terms of its performance, like we just demonstrated, as well as a solution for pluggable transceiver boxes that you find going into servers and routers on the internet. And so what this roadmap really tells everybody is that we've got a great technology, it's got a great future, and we're really looking quite excited to see this happen. And when you see things plotted out to the next 20 years, it tells you you're on the right track.
Well, I want to definitely talk to you in 20 years. However, I also want a little bit of a sneak peek on what people can expect for your upcoming annual shareholders meeting that's happening on May 22nd. Considering the progress that you made in Q1, right, and the strategic objectives that you've laid out, provide me some insights on any milestones or developments that you'll discuss or possibly even announce during this meeting.
So one of the things we're going to do at this meeting is we're going to show the shareholders actual working demo of our package modulators so they can actually see it for themselves. This is really important. We've done this to the customer base. Now we want to do this to the shareholders. So they'll get a tour of our new facility or our expanded facility, which I think I reported to do about 3 to 6 months ago, to set up for scaling and volume. We'll also be showing what a 200 millimeter wafer looks like. So a big silicon wafer where you get thousands of modulators on. We'll also be plotting the future from a business standpoint. And so, one of the pieces of feedback we do get from our retail investor base, and I thank them for sending me questions pretty much every day of the week, is we're going to be answering those questions. We'll be addressing those questions, and we'll be plotting our future in more granularity than we have before.
I love it. I definitely look forward to hearing that. Again, that's on May 22nd, folks. Before I let you go, Doc, any final thoughts on your end?
Well, this has been a great 3 months for us. The industry is now seeing that the performance of modulators, of our polymer modulators, are really exactly what they're looking for. So that means as we look forward over the next 6, 9, and 12 months, it's going to be really busy. And so this is an exciting time for us. So it's go Lightwave.
I love it. And look, I've been, seeing videos of the things that y'all are doing, but I'm gonna have my people talk to your people. And maybe the next time you and I talk is going to be at your facilities and we'll have the things that you're doing in the background. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I enjoyed it, Sinead.
Absolutely. And that is Dr. Michael Lebby, who is the chairman and CEO of Lightwave Logic. Ticker on the NASDAQ is LWLG. And for you at home, thank you for watching All Access.